what's is there anything that you want to work on, or I could ask, what's your intention for this seminar, for example? You know, what do you want to get out of this seminar, or what do you want to get out of this experience right now?
Probably what Eleanor says earlier about just trying to piece it all together and sort of I know the bits, or I know a lot of the bits, but it's making it more fluent and articulate and being able to, you know, as opposed to when you tell us to do an exercise, it's like, oh my god, we're doing the start, you know, we've heard it 100 times, it's still getting that, I suppose, the continuity of it all.
Is this what for therapy on somebody, or
yeah,
so for being more
fluent, or more piecing all the bits of the jigsaw together, sort of thing, and knowing what I'm doing.
Right. Okay. So having clarity on what you're doing,
clarity.
and knowing exactly what you need to do at each individual step. Okay. Good. Good. So what I want you to do is, I want you to just, at the moment for this exercise, is just focus on a feeling, what you sense, how you're feeling just now.
Anticipation.
Okay. So just focus on any feeling that comes up and let me know when a feeling comes up.
I feel a bit sick, but so is anticipation a feeling, yeah?
Well, whatever emotion you're feeling just now, what you're sensing just now.
Curiosity as to what's going to happen next.
Okay, and as you're feeling curious just now, I don't know if you realise that you're doing something with your feet. Because your feet are moving backwards and forwards and they've actually stopped.
Because I'm conscious of it.
That's right, because you're conscious of what's going on, yet there's so much more around you that you're not conscious of. So just go ahead and just take a deep breath. And then just close your eyes all the way down. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, you can just relax and be comfortable in the knowledge that a part of you is really beginning to learn something of importance. And I want you to really focus on that intention that you've got, to have that mental clarity so that you can work with others, so that you know exactly what you're doing at each and every step. Realising that you can be comfortable in the chair, and then the knowledge that you can perhaps be aware of what's going on inside this room. Perhaps you can hear certain sounds inside this room. Or maybe you're more aware of the traffic outside the room. You see, you can allow yourself to drift down comfortably in the knowledge that with a growing sense of comfort, there's a part of you that really knows what to do already. And I don't even know right now whether you can go into a light trance, a medium trance, or even a deep trance. Where you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Perhaps every time you breathe in, you can even breathe in confidence. So that as you breathe in and you breathe out, I want you to really focus on your hands. And realise that as you're sitting upright in the chair right now, and handing whatever you need to hand over to your unconscious so that you can begin to trust your unconscious, at times, sometimes you can really have an uplifting experience. And it's alright to be have a little bit of flexibility in your life, isn't it? You see, you do realise that it's okay to have a little bit of flexibility in your life, don't you? That's right. And with a little bit of flexibility, sometimes you can have even a little bit of movement as well. It's okay to have a little bit of movement, is it not? And really focus on that flexibility and that movement, and you can wonder what your unconscious mind will decide to do next. Because Because I don't know what you become aware of. I don't know if you're aware of a certain feeling inside. I want you to really think about that intention that you've got. And really consider it at the deepest unconscious level. So that you realise right now that you could be anywhere right now. Anywhere at all. Because you're sitting in this chair and you can feel absolutely safe in the knowledge that there's a part of you beginning to learn. Or you could be a mind in space in the middle of nowhere, with nowhere to go. And Milton Erickson used to talk a lot about being a mind in space, in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to go. Realising that there's a part of you that can be completely alert. You can be alert as a mind, yet you can be completely still as a body. Or you can have a mind that's alert with a body that's still asleep. And you can even become curious as to what that would feel like. What would it feel like if you could be a mind that's alert with a body asleep, or a mind alert, unaware of a part of your body? Completely unaware, still of a part of your body. But I don't want you to be aware of it any quicker than your unconscious mind can begin to make the arrangements that you have a little bit of movement in your life, a little bit of flexibility in your life, that you start to consider things a little bit different, that you start to focus on the future, that you start to focus on how things can be different. And you start to remember pleasant experiences in your past. That's right, pleasant experiences in your past. Because you realise that you've had so many experiences in your past, and so many of them have been pleasant. Yet sometimes we just can't remember. That's right. And you might even wonder what's happening with your hands right now. Whether you're more aware of your left hand, or maybe you're more aware of your right hand. And really focus on them and become aware of how they feel. Whether that left hand feels heavier than the right hand, or the right hand feels heavier than the left hand. Because in a moment I want your unconscious mind to make the arrangements that you can come out of trance. And I don't know how quickly or how slowly you'll come out of trance. But you can only come out of trance from the neck up and wonder what you'll be aware of first. In fact, you might become curious and wonder what part of you can remain completely still in trance. How are you feeling? Okay, so what are you sensing right now? How does your body feel? How does your left hand feel right now?
My elbow keeps jerking.
That's right, it does, doesn't it? And as that left hand keeps doing what it's doing right now, how does your right arm and your right hand feel? That's right, you don't know, do you? Now, how does your body feel right now? Mm-hmm. You don't really feel it. So which of those hands do you think you could move right now? Do you think you could really move your left hand, or do you think you could move your right hand? I mean, do you think you could lift your left arm, or do you think you could lift your right arm? Which one do you think you could lift?
I'm fine.
Really think, and think which one of those you think you could lift. Because as you continue to think about which one of those you could lift, perhaps at some point you begin to see things differently. Perhaps you begin to have that mental clarity that you need. Now really, attempt to lift one of them and see which one you think you can lift. That's right, you are trying. And which one are you trying to lift right now? It is the left one, isn't it? And really try a little bit harder and see what happens. Just try a little bit harder. Because sometimes we try and we try and we keep on trying. Sometimes you're looking for something and sometimes you can't find the answer. And the answer might just be somewhere else. That's right, it is moving. And I'm just curious as to what you think it would do next.
That's my elbows mainly move.
Now go ahead and just take a deep breath. And as you take a deep breath, I want you to go way down deep asleep. That's right. All the way down. And then as you drift down comfortably, I want your unconscious mind to begin to make the arrangements right now that you can go inside and perhaps even bring up your book of time. And as you flick those pages back in your book of time, I want you to go back and find times in your life that you have had complete mental clarity, that you know exactly what you want to achieve. You're completely clear, and you know there's been times in your life where you've been clear on certain things. Or maybe you're looking for certain answers, or maybe you want to be more confident, or maybe it's more motivated. And I want your unconscious mind to flick the pages on that book of time and go and find all the times, but only as quickly as one of those hands can begin to lift. So that with every millimetre of movement you go inside and you find those times. And you can remember that you can take whatever time you need for that to happen, because sometimes time slows down and sometimes it speeds up. And I don't know whether time will pass really, really quickly, because your unconscious mind can work really, really quickly. Or whether it'll just feel as if it's just taking such a long time. That's right. Sometimes you start to feel a little bit of movement. It could be a little twitch here or there. And then it can begin to move, so that with every millimetre of movement you go inside and you find those times. And I don't even know if you come up the stairs today or whether you took the lift. Because you know in the UK they call it an elevator a lift, and in the States they call it a lift an elevator. That's right, just every millimetre of movement you start to find all those times. I don't even know how many times you found yet, unconsciously. Because as you continue to find those times, you can realise that learning is natural. Your learning process is inside, and the rest, your unconscious, can pay attention to what is important. your learning is natural inside while you rest. Your unconscious can pay attention to what is immediately important. So that's right, with every millimetre of movement you can go inside and find all those times. And these times could span over a number of years. It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. It really doesn't matter, because your unconscious mind has the ability to do things really, really quickly. Really quickly. Sometimes you fall asleep, and then you wake up, and then sometimes you fall asleep again, and, or your alarm goes off and you press the snooze button and you fall asleep for 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes you could be on a 3D holiday. That's right. Hand moving up. With every millimetre of movement you can find those times. And as you continue to find those times right now, knowing that you can be getting closer and closer to finding that mental clarity, to becoming clear on your intention, to becoming clear on exactly what you need to do, exactly what you need to say, exactly how you need to act. And sometimes it's even appropriate to imagine yourself out in the future watching yourself, or perhaps watching somebody that's possibly doing hypnosis, or watch somebody that perhaps you don't even recognise, but perhaps this person is doing everything exactly the way they should be doing it. And you can learn from that experience as that hand moves all the way up, with every millimetre of movement. And as your hand continues to move up, you can realise that your hand could be moving up, yet there's another part of you that can be drifting down, because that hand can be moving up. And as the part of you that continues to drift down, I want you to just imagine if you're, right now your eyes were really relaxed, and they were so relaxed that at some point that in your imagination you realise that they're so relaxed that possibly they won't work. And I don't know at what point you realise whether they'll open or whether they won't open. I want you to try and open your eyes and see what happens, and notice that the more you try, the more perhaps they'll be locked down. Now try and open them. Try a little bit harder than that. That's right, try a little bit harder. And then you notice that they just don't want to open. But here's the thing, I want you to just say it out loud. Just say the word open sesame and your eyes will pop open. Just say that. Just say open sesame.
Open
And then,
sesame.
that's right. And your eyes pop open. And as your eyes are open right now, how are you feeling right now?
Calm.
That's right. What's that hand doing there?
I don't know.
How are your legs feeling?
No, I don't know about my legs.
That's right, you don't know about your legs, do you? You don't know about your legs, but you can wonder what that hand's actually doing right there. And as that hand's right there, right now, do you think you could put that hand down? Do you really think you could put that hand down?
No.
Give it a little try. And find out what your unconscious mind chooses to do. Or maybe you want to try and tell the time. Try and tell the time. Is that a watch you've got on? Yeah, it's moving up.
I know if I've moved my
Is that a
body.
watch you've got on? Hmm?
Yeah.
What's the time?
Um,
That's right. Now here's the thing, I want you to try and keep your eyes open. Just try and keep your eyes open, only as quickly at some point your unconscious mind will decide that your eyes will close down. But you keep on trying to keep them open. You see, you're breathing in, you're breathing out. Your blink reflex is changing. you're not really moving that much, but your unconscious mind is moving that hand. And I want you to really try and keep your eyes open for a little bit longer, realising that when they do close down, you can go way down, deeper than you've already been, but try and keep them open. Try and keep them open a little bit longer. Try and keep them open a little bit longer. Keep them open. Try it. Really try harder than that. Try harder. Try a little bit harder. A little bit harder than that. That's right. All the way down. All the way down. All the way down. That's right. And as you continue to drift down, that hand can continue to drift up. Because you know you're working on something that's really important to you. And I don't know exactly what you're working on, but you're working on something. Are you not? That's right. You're working on something, are you not? Mm-hmm. So as that hand continues to drift up, perhaps you can continue to drift down. Every millimetre of movement, things can become clearer. Now it's also appropriate that as you start to find that mental clarity inside, as that hand continues to drift up, it might be appropriate that when that hand touches your face, or when that hand comes all the way up, that you start to realise that you've found something inside. Perhaps you've found a resource, perhaps you've found a way of dealing with things. But it's appropriate that you start to spread that into every single area of your life that you need that. So that every time you start to remember certain things in your past that are pleasant, certain things that you've achieved. So it might be appropriate that as that hand continues to drift up, you continue to find those times that I'm just going to lift this hand here, and this one can just stay right here, stiffer and stiffer still. Stiffer and stiffer still, so that this hand in a moment, and only in a moment, I want this one to begin to drift down as quickly as you can begin to spread the resources into every single area of your life that you need it. I don't know whether it's that you need to be more confident, or you need to make better decisions, or whether you need to be more motivated, or there's something that you really need to do that you're not doing. I don't know what it is. But you see, you know exactly what it is. And so as that hand continues to find all those times, I want this arm to begin to drift down, so that you can start to spread that into every single area of your life that you need that. And I don't want you to move that hand consciously. You see, you don't need to move it consciously. I want your unconscious mind to move it. In fact, I want you to resist moving it consciously. And then you can wonder when it will start to move. Or whether it will just stay there, just like that. It might just stay there for the rest of the seminar, and you might just be sitting there, and we might just start to discuss other topics. You see, because on one side you're actually building all the resources that you need to move forward, to realise that you can have the mental clarity, to make certain decisions in your life, to be more motivated, to be more confident, to feel good about yourself. And then there's another part of you that's ready to spread this into every single area of your life. And I don't even know when you'll be pleasantly surprised at some point that you might be sitting and you might think of something consciously, and then all of a sudden you realise that you already have the resources. You realise that you already have the motivation, or the confidence, or the ability to feel good, or anything else you need. So as that process continues, the part of you that's finding those resources, and the other part of you that's but spreading that into every single area of your life right now. I want you to just try and open your eyes again. That's right. Try a little bit harder. Then you realise that for whatever reason, it's just, they just won't open. But then I just want you to say, open, and then just open your eyes. Just say out loud, just say open.
Open.
That's right. How are you feeling? How are you really feeling right now?
I feel like a puppet.
How are your legs feeling?
No, I don't know.
You don't know, do you? So you don't know how your legs are feeling, yet your hands are right there. Now which hand are you more aware of? You're more aware of the right hand or the left hand?
The left one.
Of course you are. What's the time? What's that?
Got your own watch.
What's the time? Try and tell the time.
Stuck.
So I want you to realise there's a part of you that's still processing and still doing something at the moment. And this hand's just right here. Do you think you could move this up, or do you think you could move that down? Well, try and move it consciously. Try and move it down or try and move it up.
Just make sure it was my hand there.
So look at me for a moment. Try and move that hand.
Which one?
This one here. Try and move it down. And then tell me what's happening.
Doesn't feel in my hand. It looks like a claw.
Try and move it up then.
It looks really weird.
Okay, so here's the thing. What happens when you try and move this hand up or down?
It doesn't look like a hand.
Okay, try and move that one up or down then.
Oh, that means away. I don't know what that's.
It's really doing something, isn't it? You see, as that hand continues to build the resources, in a moment I'm going to tap this hand, and this hand's just going to drop down to your lap. But it's going to drop down to your lap only as quickly as it can actually just spread these resources into every single area of your life that you need them. Because it's really taking its time, and I wonder why. It's really taking its time. I don't know why. Could be that it just wants to take its time for whatever reason. You see, sometimes time can stretch out, sometimes time can contract. But you know that your unconscious has an ability to do things really, really quickly. That's right. So that you can just spread those resources into every single area of your life that you need them. As soon as that hand touches your lap. You don't need to do anything consciously. You can just allow it to happen. And it can happen. It doesn't really matter whether you've got your eyes open or whether you've got your eyes closed. It makes no difference. That's right. All the way down. All the way down. You can just drop that hand and drop all the way down to your lap. That's right. And then as that hand drops all the way down, you can just close your eyes for a moment and realising that in a moment I'm going to bring you all the way back, but this time I want you to wake up all over. I want you to wake up all over so you come all the way back into the room, fully reorientate back into the room. I want you to come back into the room only as quickly as you can come back with all the resources that you need. You see, whether it's having that mental clarity, whether it's having the confidence to do what you need to do, whether it's having the motivation, whether it's feeling good. And in fact, I want you to actually only come back into the room as quickly as your eyes can open, but when your eyes open, I want you to come back into the room with a really, really good feeling. A really good feeling. You see, you might even be thinking consciously right now about the feeling, and realise that you don't even need to think. I want you to come in with a really, really good feeling. A better feeling than that. Even better than that. A really good feeling. And I don't know where you begin to feel that feeling first, whether it will be in your stomach, whether it will be in your chest, or whether it will be somewhere else in your body. So just take your time to just reorientate yourself all the way back into the room, but this time you can wake up all over. Good, that's 10 to 3, you're right. So,
Oh, you come back.
We're not really here.
how are you feeling?